So I'm going to give you some tips on how to help a dog who is resourcing their food during feeding time. In the video, you're going to see that we're teaching the dog how to wait for the food, get released into the food, and then back away from the bowl after they've had the food. By doing this, we're teaching the dog not to resource, or if they have the intention of resourcing, we're really showing them step by step what we want them to do to keep themselves and ourselves safe. Okay, so when we are using a slip lead, this is going to prevent the dog from being able to slip out of a collar. We do not want to use a traditional flat collar, something like this, because even if you think you have it snug, the dog may be able to slip out of it when they're starting to back out of something. So don't use a flat collar. Make sure that you're using a slip lead. So again, that gets nice and tight, and then it'll loosen, but it'll get tight. So if the dog tried to back out of it, you would apply pressure, and it will be upward pressure, and then it will get it tight enough that the dog can't physically slide out of it. Okay, so when we go to put it on, we put it on, it's going to be behind the head, high up behind the neck here, high up by the ears, so that way it can get tighter and then it can loosen. It can get tighter and it can loosen. And then they have a stopper. These little slip leads have little stoppers, and you can put it here so that it's snug enough so that it can stay in place. And it will still get tighter if the dog tries to pull or come at you. You just slightly come up, and it'll give enough that the dog will not be able to slide out of it. But the stopper acts as a nice safety for you, so that it can't get too loose on you. If I felt like, again, using a slip lead, and the slip lead goes around the neck, it's secure up high on the neck. That way it can't slip out by accident. If I needed to redirect him, if he was trying to come at me at all, I would come up on the leash. So that way I have some control over if a dog was going to turn and kind of redirect. So ultimately what I want to get first is no pressure on that leash, but I have some control. I'm going to let the dog know, leave it. If you went for it, I would pick it up. Leave it. Put it down. I'm going to look for eye contact. Good. Look. Good. Good. Break. So now he gets to go ahead and eat the food. Here's where I'm careful so that he doesn't redirect on me on that bowl, right? So come over here. Sit. Again, here I have it. If he went for me at all, I can use my hand here as a lever to prevent him from coming at me. All right, so that's important. You don't want too much pressure, but enough that you would go straight up in the event the dog was to try to come at you in any way. So then I reset my bowl again. And just, if he gets weird at all, right, good. I'd reset my bowl again, put a couple pieces of food in there. Sit. We want to make sure we've got that sit. Good boy. Good. Leave it. I'm letting the dog know, leave it. Good, good, leave it. So I have my line here in case anything goes sideways. I want the dog to be giving me eye contact. Good. Look. Good, good. Great. Now he gets it. Again, if anything started to go weird, I'd use this as a lever system. I've got my hands here so that I've got control and I can block the dog from coming at me. Okay? Bring him back over here. Good boy. Sit. Good. I've got my line in case I need it here as I go to bend over to get it. If anything goes cockeyed, drop the bowl. And again, always put yourself in a situation where you can keep yourself safe. If you have two people, you can do two people. One person's doing the bowl and one person's doing the dog. Sit. So again, that solid sit, really beneficial. Good boy. Notice how I'm staying calm, but I'm clear. That's really important, right? I don't want to get nervous and get worried, because then he's going to feel that, and then it all starts to snowball. So I stay nice and calm. Good boy. Again, I've got myself safe. Good boy. Leave it. Good boy. Good boy. Now, let's just say here he started growling. He started getting really funny. I'd go, leave it. Good, leave it. If he started to growl again, Now if he went after me at all, I would pull up, I'd pull straight up until he relaxed, and then I relax that line. But I want him to know that he has to pay attention to me in order to get access to that food, so that he's not resourcing it and saying, hey, anybody within the bowl area, I'm gonna come after you. Even if I released him into the bowl and then he started to get funny, I'd come up on that line, leave it, good, leave it. Great, good. So even here, if he got a little funny here, I'd block him, good, sit, good, sit. So I would let him know right there, you don't come after. Now here, I wouldn't reach for the bowl in the beginning. I'd remove him from the bowl. Let's go. Good. All right, so sit, boy. So now at any point, if you started feeling like this was not comfortable for you to do this at all, then you can go to what we call a pulley system. So let's just say if he started to do too much growling, you were feeling uncomfortable being too close like this, then we can go to what we call a pulley system. So pulley system is going to look like this. I will take a long line. I can turn this into a slip lead. I can actually make this into a slip lead by putting this like this and putting it here like that. Now I've actually got myself a slip lead. Okay, he is not going to slip out of that as I pull up. It's going to be tight. If you happen to have a traditional slip lead, you could just add this leash to it. But this created a nice little slip lead for you. So then what I would do is I would make a pulley system. Okay, so here I have my pulley system now. So now I have put the leash, I've looped it around something. You could put it like an eye hook in like a round eye hook in the wall or something like that. Something that you can send the leash through something so that it creates a pulley system. So that way, if the dog comes towards you, you pull towards yourself, and that prevents the dog from being able to move forward. So now I've got control over him being able to advance on me while I'm working on his resource guarding. So here I can ask for that sit, stay. If he went for me at all, again, I've got my pulley system. I can prevent him from advancing on me. So I can load up my food here. Good boy. Good boy. Leave it. Good, leave it. Good, leave it. Now, here, so that I'm safe, right? Here's where he's giving me eye contact. Break. You can get the food. And then I can send him away from the bowl. Brant, back, back. And then I can get access to the bowl safely. Okay, so now let's say I go to put the bowl down and he's really lunging and going after me. That's when I would say, leave it. Leave it. Good, leave it. If I went to put it down and he started lunging for it, I'm going to not put it all the way down, bring it back up again. I would tell him, leave it, leave it. If I went to go put it down again and he started coming towards me, I'd say leave it. But now I've got my pulley system here. I'm not putting pressure on him, but he can't drive forward on me. Leave it. So I would put it down, get that eye contact from him, break. He gets access to the food. Good boy. Good boy. I want to make sure, here's another thing that I can add to help the dog be successful. Good. I can add teaching him how to go to a spot or a place. Good. Once we've got him going on it, I can pay to be on it, right? That can be in a totally separate session. Good. And then once we have that looking pretty good, and he's willing to go to a spot and he knows what it means to go to place, then I can set this up where I send him back to his place after he's gotten to the food. Good boy. Good boy. Good. Leave it. Good boy. So he pays attention to me. I don't want him staring at that bowl. I want him to focus on me. Good boy. Good boy. Break. He gets the food. Now I send him place. Good place. He goes back to place. Down. Goes back into at least going back onto the place. Now again, here I have it, so I'm safe. So if I went to reach for this, he could not come at me. Now notice, this is not tight on the dog. It is just there, and I've got a little bit of slack, but not enough where he could get off the whole bed. All right, so I'm going to show this to you again. We know that we've taught them how to go to a place or a bed. Now, I've got my pulley system. I don't have hard pressure on this, but he certainly couldn't come at me with energy. I'm very clear to him. Leave it. Good, leave it. Good, leave it. I'm looking for that eye contact. Good, good, leave it. And right when I'm going to release him, I'm going to take a little slack out. Break. He gets access to it after he's done eating. Place. Goes back to his place. Good place. Okay, so let's say your dog is struggling. You want to go back and really practice place a lot, so he really understands that place means to go back to place. You can also practice by utilizing a little bit of leash pressure to send him back to place, because it's on his neck. It's going to send his neck back into place. So it's not a harness that's pushing his body. The line, as you gently guide him, will help guide him back onto the place spot. So if he didn't want to go back to the place spot, you can let him know place, place, and then help him with the leash. Good, leave it. Good, leave it. Good, leave it. Good boy. Good boy. And then when I'm going to release, I don't have any tension. Break. Good boy. Good boy. Brant, place. So here, a little pressure, place. He goes back on. Pressure comes off, but I don't give him too much where he could then come at me. But I let off the gas a little bit, but not enough where he could then come at me. So that was a perfect example. Brant was going to stay on the grass, but instead I want him to go to the place so that I now can pick up my bowl without him getting resourcey with the bowl. So we're going to do that one more time. Good boy, good place, good boy. Leave it. Good, leave it. I'm looking for that eye contact. Good, good boy, good, leave it. Break. He gets access to the food when he's done. Brant, place. So here I'm helping him. Good boy, good place. So key points: stay safe, stay calm, and trust the tools that you're using to help provide the environment you need for your dog to be successful.